Greetings, fellow thinkers and drinkers, and welcome to my second ranking video, this time Deep Purple. As with the Black Sabbath rankings, I've subdivided the catalog into groups. What is different here is that the rankings and the groupings are far more determined by incarnation and lineup than they were for Black Sabbath, interestingly. Other than that, I will not be going into too much detail about this, about each and every one, as my recent videos, and I will drop a link in the description to the channel's playlist, Purple Passages, and for anyone can see the background on this, why I view things the way I do. I'm just going to more or less list them here. I don't wish to repeat myself at this point. Okay, moving on. In place 23, a category all of its own. I've called this category egregious, and it has but one inhabitant, and that is slaves and masters. Should come as no surprise to anybody who's seen the other videos. It should just come to no surprise to anybody at all. Yeah, this is if this isn't absolute drivel, it is absolute drivel adjacent. The next category, also spawned, but an only child. I'm calling it What the Fuck? For the simple reason I'm putting in there the Turning to Crime covers album. Again, I discussed this. Boring choice of songs, uninspired renditions. Yeah, really. Really, guys. Okay, the next category is best described as, although these are blood relations, they probably do not get invited to dine at the top table, if you know what I'm saying. So in place 21 we have Stormbringer. Again, not really my thing. Couple of good songs, but never mind the rest. Place 20 we have Come Taste the Band. Again, a couple of good songs, but the rest is just, wow, this is not Deep Purple. Why am I more tolerant of this than Stormbringer? Very simply. It does not feature Blackmore, and John Lord has effectively abdicated any and all responsibility for writing on this album. This is very much a Bolin, Coverdale, Hughes album. Therefore, my expectations are less, or my demands are less. Therefore, I can be more tolerant of it. Things are taking a slight turn for the better now. Place 19, we have Shades of Deep Purple. The debut, but still my least favorite of the Mark I albums. Just too many covers. Directionless. I don't know. I like it. It's just my least favorite. Which means place 18, we have Deep Purple, the third and last of the Mark I albums. Nothing wrong with it. It has the most original material. Some say it's the most focused. That may well be. It's strong. I like it. I can listen to this. Certainly prefer the Mark I material to anything that's come before in this list. But for me, the Book of Taliesin is the most enjoyable Mark I album, which means it gets in it at number 17. We bring this category to an end with Burn, the Mark III debut, and is head and shoulders above anything else that they did. Largely on the strength of two songs, but still. Yeah, this much better than anything else Mark III did, Mark IV, Mark V. But it's take the band in a direction. They're not as creative. They're not as experimental. It's more traditional blues-based rock, and it was the precursor of a lot worse to come. Okay, the next category is, well, now having dealt with all that, we're now getting to the serious stuff, the stuff that is Deep Purple. However, even within my favorites, I can hopefully display a degree of objectivity. So this next category I guess I will call Close But No Cigar. Place at number 15, The Battle Rages On, recorded under terrible circumstances. Recorded for another singer, maybe even singers. Was Mike DeMeyer really that close? Did he record anything? Do we know? But even musically, if you take the vocals of this was a much stronger effort than Slaves and Masters. Bring Gillen back. He did his best with what he could, with what he was given. This is a stronger record than most people will have you believe. It's solid. It really is. A couple of really standout moments. I like Solitaire. I like the title track, Anya. I even like Time to Kill, actually. Okay, number 14 is Bananas. After a 5-year wait since Abandon and Lord has departed, they've replaced him with Don Airy. This was not the reassuring start we needed to the new chapter. Too much weak stuff on here, as I said in the review. A couple of really good moments. The production does not help this album. However, the follow-up, Rapture of the Deep, is much stronger. It has two absolute classic Deep Purple moments in the title track and Before Time Began. The rest is of a much higher standard across the board than Bananas. There are a couple of weaker things on there, and they made a grave mistake by not including Things I Never Said in the original album. But production is also, when not great, is not quite as annoying as the Bananas production, and the overall standard is much higher. I think the songwriting is better, and given the title track and Beyond Time Began, yeah, this is a significant improvement over Bananas. Now the last album in this category is, wait for it, Perfect Strangers. Yes, Perfect Strangers. Again, there are two great songs on it, and the rest is really solid. It was safe. It was the reunion album. I said all this in the review. Nothing wrong with it, but it didn't set the world alight. It was safe. And it's good. And we move on. We're now getting to the almost perfect. Almost perfect. So at number 11, I would say Who Do We Think We Are? Again, recorded under terrible circumstances. They were infighting, perhaps a lack of commitment from a certain members of the band, and they still managed to come up with something that is as strong as this. Criminally overlooked. There's great material on here. Really creative, really inventive stuff. It's frustrating in as much as, wow, this is what you can deliver when you're not speaking to each other. Imagine they had been, and there was a better atmosphere in the band. Yeah. I'm afraid not the last time that will happen. Great album. And one of the best sounding of their 70s albums, to boot. Production holds up to this day. We then come to Abandon at number 10. Difficult first listen. I said all this in the review, but after years it has grown on me, and I've grown to appreciate there's really strong material in here. But I do freely admit, you have to persevere with it. You have to dig to find the gold. It's difficult first listen. It's very similar. All the majority of the songs, they have a certain similar sound and tempo. It lacks the variety of many of their other albums, done deliberately, but it is a good Deep Purple record. I do enjoy it. Okay, we move on. Number 9, House of Blue Light. I've always preferred this to Perfect Strangers. Much more creative, much more adventurous. Again, strong similarities to Who Do We Think We Are, in as much as, yeah, the creative atmosphere in the band had been poisoned. But still, they still managed to produce something as interesting and as creatively vital as this. What would it have been had certain people behaved better? The production sucks. Did at the time, has not aged well. But there are a couple of clunkers on it, but this is really strong. At this point, they were still a vibrant, creative, relevant force, which they weren't 2-3 years later when they produced Slaves and Masters. Moving on, number 8 is Infinite. If we talk about the Bob Ezrin era, this is my least favorite. There is great stuff on it. As I said in the review, there's a couple of things on it that are not so great, a bit middle of the road. It's a really strong record, however. It suffers only by comparison to its siblings. It is a really strong record. Which brings us on to number 7, which is the new one, Equals One. Wasn't sure what to expect. really like it. Perfectly prepared to reevaluate my ranking of it. I suspect upwards rather than downwards, but it's only been with us for 11 months. I know it should be enough, but some of these things, some of these opinions have been gestating for decades now, so one has to take that into account. I really like this though. I was about to say it's very promising for the future, but given their age, I don't know. Apart from, okay, they're recording a new album, how much more they've got in them. But my God, this is good. It really is good. Number 6, we get Whoosh, which turns out to be the last Morse album. Again, I said everything in the review I really want to say about it. A fantastic piece of piece of piece of work. What it turned out to be a fitting end to Morse's association with the band. We will ignore turning to crime. In my universe, it didn't happen. This did turn out to be a fitting farewell to Morse in terms of studio recording. A fantastic piece of work. Okay, at number 5 we get Machine Head. Yeah, I know. There's got to be an element of burnout in this, and the fact that the majority of it is still 50 odd fucking years later, still in the live set. I know that speaks to its quality and its popularity, but it is a great record. I'm not denying it. I will never try to deny it. It's just maybe it is just the burnout factor that it is it is omnipresent everywhere, and there's just so much more. There's just so much more that doesn't get the public recognition. Okay, we're now down to the top 4. This could change. Um, I'm fairly happy with everything thus far. I don't think that'll change too much. It's been fairly consistent over the years. But the top 4, yeah. In 4th place now, what? The first of the Ezrin albums. Absolutely marvelous return to form. 8 years of studio silence. They could still produce something of this quality. It's absolutely revelatory. A fantastic piece of work. Secondly, in rock, it is the legend it is. I can't say anything else about it. It is absolutely marvelous. Place 2, or number 2, is Perpendicular. This was, again, revelatory at the time. It was obvious the band were going to survive. It was obvious they were not done as a creative force. It was obvious that Steve Morse had been utterly the right decision. This is a fantastic album. Which leaves us with number 1, and today it's Fireball. May change tomorrow, I doubt it. May change next week, but always has been. I love the experimentation on it. I love the progressive nature of it, although they keep it in check, and which is, I think, is the key to successful prog rock or anything approaching that, is to know when to stop, and they get the balance just about right here, and that is that. It's absolutely fantastic record. Would not be without that one. I would not be without most of them, but there you have it. Okay, as I said, if you need to know any background information as to why my prejudices are as they are, I will include a link to the videos, the playlist on the channel, Thinkers and Drinkers. You can look at that at your leisure. There will be another, I did ranking video coming out. I said I would do 3, trying to do them slightly different, each one slightly differently, but attempting as well to present something where there's more context in it, to it. Done less explanation on this video because the recent videos have done all that. However, yeah, that be that. More stuff coming is anyway on different topics. And once again, спасибо большое, Leo, за эту работу. And we will see each other soon. I thank you for your indulgence. Be well. Ma